you must tell these people how far back we go. Since I wear t-shirts, I'm still determining what it says about me. Anyway, let's put all of that aside for the time being. It's all in good humor, so don't take it personally if the joke doesn't work. Here's where it gets wild. Speculations are circulating about the actual cause of DJ Twitch's death, and they claim Diddy was involved. Yes, you heard correctly. Twitch's wife, Allison Hoker, allegedly knew everything about this and was bought off by Diddy to keep things secret so he could continue to live the high life with Twitch. And it doesn't end there. According to sources, Twitch was also one of the people Ellen DeGeneres reportedly pimped out to Diddy. Some were astonished to learn that Ellen was supposedly attending Diddy's freak-offs when they began looking into her life. Naturally, this caused many fans to give her the side eye. When Twitch eventually decided to leave and maybe come clean, they cut him off in the most unpleasant manner. It seemed that he had grown weary of being a boy toy. Disclaimer: please be aware that no verifiable proof exists to substantiate the rumors and assumptions being spread online. You may not know this, but Diddy and Ellen were formerly quite close. He had roughly 17 visits on Ellen's program, but one in particular stood out to many since it seemed to mention his infamous freak-off parties. During a recent chat, I asked Ellen whether she knew certain things. At first, she said she did. She swiftly changed her mind, however, and clarified that she was only aware of the gatherings because they were often mentioned in songs. I said, "Am I invited to her impending birthday party?" Since I couldn't help but joke. "Yeah, you're invited to all my parties, but you never show up," she laughed. From then on, our conversation took a lighthearted turn. I said, "Since I'm always here, why don't we just throw one on the West Coast?" She smiled and added, "Maybe I'll have one at your place instead." When I inquired about the party's start time, she said, "Let's say around 9:30. "Isn't that a little early?" was a cheeky remark I couldn't help making. "It could go all night." She chuckled. She also said there would be an after-party on the hotel's upper floors following the celebration, beginning at 9:30 and perhaps lasting until 3 in the morning. The chat was lighthearted, but an odd undertone suggested something more. It seemed as if hidden messages were interwoven throughout her descriptions of her gatherings, signals that only a select few could decipher. I began to question if there was more to her occurrences than she disclosed. Then the subject turned to something more somber. I asked Ellen whether she was surprised by the current charges against Diddy, considering how often he has been on her program. When Ellen's ex-girlfriend Anne Heech's terrible death was brought up, the conversation took an unexpected turn. For many, the coincidence of their deaths seemed too perfect, and Anne had died just a few months after Twitch. The disclosure made by Anne just before her death that she was the one who broke up her connection with Ellen was even more disturbing since it hinted at more profound problems than the public had previously realized. The scenario became more complicated as the discourse took a darker, more problematic tone. I ended our relationship because she was constantly desperate for money and fame and would sell her soul if given the chance. Her goal was to amass a large fortune, mine was to find love, and hers was to acquire $60 million. Good luck, and the longer we stay together, the more our parents will never meet. People will accuse Ellen of attempting to have her committed to a mental hospital in an attempt to make her seem crazy and to suppress the truth she was trying to express. This accusation will only increase as we become more distant from one another. Allegedly, she was deceived, buried, and ignored. She was left feeling imprisoned with thoughts and pictures racing through her head that ran counter to any concept that she was not expressing the truth. However, why do you suppose Ellen would take such drastic measures? She even gave my mom a call about it. Two people seem to have a strong interest in keeping the facts hidden. She relied on her faith and remained committed to her path, learning and being ready to keep going when the timing wasn't perfect for her to speak out. We attempted to bury love, but she had already sprung from the earth. Unfortunately, she was unstoppable by those two ladies. She then suffered severe second-degree burns in an unexplained vehicle accident shortly after pouring all of this tea. Before first responders came, she spent 30 minutes trapped in her flaming automobile. Her autopsy report states that she eventually died from burns, a shattered sternum, and smoke inhalation. Speaking about Twitch, it was claimed that he had slept at the Oak Tree Motel, just a 15-minute walk from his house, where he lived with his wife, Allison, and their 3 children. Allison tried contacting him when she realized he wasn't home, but he didn't answer. He never left home without his automobile, therefore it seemed strange that it was still parked at their house. She was concerned about it, as well as the fact that he was not returning her calls or messages. She reported a missing individual right away. The police immediately disseminated the information in the hopes that someone would see him. At that point, the hotel called the police to report that Twitch's corpse had been discovered in one of their room's bathrooms. Later, it was determined that he had shot himself to death. However, not everyone agreed that Twitch committed suicide. Ellen and Twitch's wife, Allison, were the top suspects on the list of those who thought his death was strange. People were dubious since he had never shown suicidal tendencies and seemed to enjoy spending time with his family. Nevertheless, the people believe foul play may have been involved, even though we can't always determine someone's genuine sentiments merely by looking at them. More doubts were raised when it was speculated that someone may be buying off authorities to sabotage the probe. For instance, it was stated when he was discovered dead that he had left no one behind. However, when TMZ spied on and found that Twitch had left a note, the federal government changed their mind and acknowledged. According to reports, Twitch left a message outlining his reasons for ending his own life. However, this caused a lot of people to wonder, why lie about it if it was a simple suicide? It nearly seems as if someone is attempting to conceal something. When this information was revealed, rumors circulated that Twitch could have been drawn into Diddy's world of freak-offs via Ellen and that he was much too knowledgeable. Ellen acknowledged on national television that she knew some pretty crazy stuff from her past. The possibility that she attempted to enlist Twitch in this realm is not all that unlikely, but it's possible that he declined, and they silenced him to conceal everything. In reality, Tyra Hall, a friend of Twitch, said that he was stressed due to the turmoil surrounding Ellen's cancellation and other behind-the-scenes problems. Tyra said many wondered why he had backed Ellen, which probably increased the strain. She noted that Twitch acknowledged, "I know it's a lot," when she discussed her issues with him. People aren't designed to withstand so much continuous strain. At first, everyone supported his wife, Allison, but some of her behavior sparked suspicion. According to Radar Online, she filed a spousal property petition to get half of Twitch's inheritance shortly after his death. She claimed she should inherit Twitch's assets since he had no will, and they had nothing when they first began dating. Therefore, she effectively contributed to his financial accumulation after their 2013 marriage. According to reports, Twitch had almost little net worth on their wedding day, and they needed formal arrangements to divide their assets in an emergency. However, Allison returned to court a few months later, requesting half of Twitch's assets and the potential income from his work on Step Up, So You Think You Can Dance, and other projects he had participated in. She decided to treat herself by spending $5 million on a brand new home that is supposedly even larger than the one she lived in with Twitch. She made all these changes and cashed out all this money and honey. To top it all off, she listed the house she and Twitch shared for $3.8 million. Less than a year after Twitch's death, many are beginning to question if his wife, Allison, helped Ellen and Diddy quiet him so she could live like a king or queen using his wealth. However, I want to remind you that none of these hypotheses have been confirmed, so this is all just conjecture. However, some are certain that something unethical occurred and Diddy is now being held accountable for it. As usual, views concerning Ellen and Allison are firmly held. "I always thought his death was super suspicious," one individual said. "I'm happy that the investigation is finally concluding. The way his wife acted was just too strange. From the beginning, I sensed something wasn't right. Now, it makes more sense why Twitch was taken out," said another commenter. "They were either going to expose or blackmail them," another person said. What do you think then? Do you think Diddy used Twitch as a boy toy before his death? Do you believe Allison, Diddy, and Ellen had a plot in mind? Please share your opinions in the comments section below.